We have a new coach. Is he the man or is he DeBoering? Find out tonight on this special edition of Pucknology After Dark. I am joined by my usual constituents, AJ Strong, Chris JWS. If you want to be a part of the show, there is all what you need. Hashtag Pucknology After Dark. You can tweet any of us at AJ_Strong, PuckGuy14, at ChrisJWS, at Pucknology. I'm sure Gentry J Alexander 46 wouldn't mind getting tweets, but that's beside the point.
He likes the attention. He really does.
He loves it. We have a new coach. So, Peter DeBoer, former coach of the OHL Kitchener Rangers, former coach of the Florida Panthers, former coach of the New Jersey Devils. He's coached in the NHL for 7 seasons. Only made the playoffs once, but it was to a Stanley Cup final, which he eventually lost to those flippin' LA Kings in 6 games. He didn't have much to work with in the past. Outside that 1 year in New Jersey, so he's going to be getting a very nice, probably one of his best rosters, and probably one of his youngest. So I will start with you, AJ. Your thoughts? Oh, did I throw you off or what?
No, I'm good.
On Peter DeBoer.
We're going alphabetical tonight.
Some are cautiously optimistic. I am recklessly pessimistic. No, I'm kidding. I don't know a whole lot about DeBoer's background. Obviously, I've studied up on a little bit on it now. What he did with Florida, what he's done with New Jersey. In Florida, he really didn't have shit. But when he was in Florida, he got used to coaching for a group that a general manager that was changing over. So hopefully that experience may prove to be beneficial here with San Jose. And he the one thing I did see though from Kevin Kurz, he wrote, while DeBoer found success in his first year in New Jersey, it didn't continue as the Devils saw some big-time players like Ilya Kovalchuk and Zach Parise leave, while management made a number of questionable roster decisions to fill those holes. Well, doesn't that sound a little fucking familiar? We'll see what what happens with him, but I think we're going to be seeing some big-time players depart when within 2 seasons, if not sooner. And will management make more questionable roster decisions? So who knows? A couple other things I did here was that Babcock was interested in the gig, and it's essentially that the Sharks didn't want to pay Babcock money. They didn't want to pay Babcock money, so we ended up with DeBoer, whatever the fuck this guy's name is. DeBoer, yes, it's already putting me to sleep. He's a DeBoer. Okay, I got you. So anyway, but he was on with Mr. T and Ramey today, and a couple things that he said I found kind of funny. First off, DeBoer said he believes in group leadership and is in no hurry to name a seat. Now, of course, what else are you going to say on day one? Fine, believe in group leadership. Come the first game in October, somebody better be wearing that C. And how awkward would it be if it was Thornton? Whereas most people believe it's going to be Pavelski. The second thing that I just want to note before I throw it over to Chris, I listened to the press conference. I even saw they even periscoped the Sharks periscoped some stuff after the press conference was officially over. But on Periscope, on the press conference, when he was on with Ted Rainey, when he was on with Tom Tolbert, both on KMBR, he used the word. Oh, and in an interview or an article posted by Puck Daddy, every single time he used the words "clean slate" at least twice in every single interview. So I guess that's his like big talking point: clean slate, clean slate, clean slate. Chris?
Well, you know, we always got to have a few talking points for us to mock. I mean, else what we do. I mean, real quick for Babcock, I think maybe we didn't want paying Babcock money, or maybe we didn't want paying him as much as Toronto, because honestly, they gave him screw you money, which is awesome. Good for him. Got all the money. As far as DeBoer goes, it's a solid meh, which honestly I'm okay with, because I was worried we might hire a Randy Carlisle or some screw-up like Adam Oates or something. Like, we took a step back, but we took one step back. We didn't take, we didn't turn and bolt in the wrong direction like we've been known to do recently, with signings like John Scott. So, hey, for the Sharks, probably all right. I can deal with that. And in the NHL, coaches aren't nearly as important as they are like in football. You can swap out a coach mid-season and go along just fine. We saw it happen where the Kings won the Cup 4 or 5 years ago. Or no, it was 5 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. They swapped coaches mid-season and they went and won the Cup. I mean, that doesn't happen in some sports, but that happens in hockey. So we took one step back, and I can deal with that. So that's kind of my initial reaction. I'm still learning more about him. I don't think he'll be the guy to get us the Cup, but maybe he'll just keep us from taking too many steps backwards.
I hear that.
I'm kind of with you guys. At first, when it was announced, I was like, "Well, really? We're going with DeBoer." I think it was. I think partially it's the case of not giving enough money to either Bilesma or Babcock. But I mean, let's be honest here. That contract for Babcock is redonkulous.
Well, yeah, but it was known that he was going to try to push the needle for coaches everywhere in the NHL.
Well, yeah, but now...
Yeah, like I said, that was screw you money. That was just like generational wealth kind of money.
Yeah, and granted, for Toronto's sense, they needed to do something to really get things going on their rebuild. Some took it as, so Babcock goes to Toronto, McClellan goes to Edmonton. Bilesma essentially today gets announced as Buffalo's head coach. You're telling me we're kind of getting stuck with DeBoer? I mean, it's...
I don't know. We'll see what,
outside all of them, I think it was the best coach available.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the season. We'll see if, from what I'm hearing, DeBoer would have the. Sounds like he will have this. He doesn't have the veteran, ass kissiness that McClellan had a little bit, where McClellan would play Hannon over a Mueller or whatnot, but refused to sit Marleau down. He was clearly struggling. It sounds as if DeBoer won't have that problem. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just happy that we ended up with DeBoer over say, like Dave Lowry. Now, if Lowry wants to come in as an assistant, okay, fine. But when that was being mentioned, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Dave Lowry?
With Sid Marleau, are you kidding? We were regularly trotting out corpses like John Scott, and you want to sit Marleau?
I'm just saying, if he's... Marleau had a huge regression last year. That's not even debatable. He had an awful season, but there was a couple times where he looked like he was just... That he just wasn't even engaged, wasn't active. And so, you know what, once in a while, just sit his ass.
And we had corpses like John Scott suiting up for 1/3 of the games, other slightly better than corpse players.
But that's all on Wilson.
I get playing less minutes, but sitting him, you gotta be kidding me. Come on,
okay, man. but that's on Wilson, though. Wilson needs to have more than a tire fire for depth. And We all talked about. I mean, John Scott. That was goddamn ridiculous. But they found a couple things like Carlson and whatnot. But look at it. I mean, that's on Wilson. John frickin' Scott. And is there an internal cap number that they're working on? Because we all saw that Wilson spent significantly less last year than he had in prior years.
There's got to be, because they keep mentioning about it, and that's one thing that scares me, is that there's an internal budget. That cap keeps going up and up and up, and it's going to get to the point where we're going from the borderline going over the cap to, staying within, upwards of the floor.
Well, I mean, as that cap up, so revenue sharing is going up. So, I mean, let's say it jumps like $20 million in the next couple of years. Not going to happen, but let's just say it did. Hypothetically, floor problem, or our internal cap probably wouldn't only increment by $1 million or $2 million. It'd probably stay in close parity, so our revenue should go up. So, I think it would probably still stay below, but probably wouldn't it wouldn't stick at like $65 million while it's up at $85 million. I would hope.
I would definitely hope so too. It did kind of sound like DeBoer isn't wants to be in a rebuilding, but he wants to kind of have them compete for a playoff spot. The words Stanley Cup really weren't mentioned in the press conference today, but to be a contending team per se. I don't want to, really go into where you're going to be over criticizing things, but I found that very interesting. I don't know. It remains to be seen. He's not a offensive minded. He doesn't say he's defensive minded. He says he believes in pressure hockey, that you put pressure in all three zones. This defensively in the neutral zone, offensive zone. To paraphrase what he was saying earlier today, the better off you're going to be. I think the players want to play that way, and I think fans want to watch that type of hockey. Apparently, also Adam Graves, former Ranger and former Shark, was saying that you got a good guy there. They were talking to Adam Oates, the same guy that was saying, Hurdle is disrespectful to the league. And I gotta say this is like, how awkward would that locker room be if Oates was the head coach, or potentially could be an assistant under DeBoer?
No, the funniest that would be the fact that Hurdle would have more job security than he would. Because we all know Hurdle will be here in 5 years.
True that.
But that smile would be quickly gone in no time.
I just, whatever philosophies or coaching strategies DeBoer brings in, that's all well and good, but it doesn't make a lick of difference if you've got, we have no idea what the situation is in goal next season right now. They're still icing 2 good defensemen and 4 meh defensemen, and you still have essentially not the greatest bottom 6. So until those things get addressed, you can bring Scotty fucking Bowman in here, clone his ass, and it still is not going to make that big of a difference.
Yeah, how Wilson restocks covered this offseason will tell a lot about how it goes, especially that bottom 6. I think a good pressure from the forwards could probably mask some of those deficiencies, which I'm hoping maybe DeBoer can bring a little bit better, a little less seeding of our own blue line, and maybe help our defense out a bit, because our forwards were not helping our defense nearly enough. They were, they got exposed every single game, so that's my hope, is maybe Wilson would think on maybe signing a few half-decent third-liners instead of a couple more corpses like he seems to like to do lately.
But the problem here is one, there's not a whole lot out in free agency, and if there is, you're going to be paying a boatload because you got idiots in Philadelphia who's like, here, blank check for Matt Bolesky. I mean, Bolesky's had a great playoff run, but let's not get crazy here. You know, Philadelphia is part of the reason why we've had this cap issue, or the Rangers, or Toronto.
Well, yeah, but
they found their,
like, don't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they found their coach for. I'm assuming it's at least a 3-year deal, probably 4 or 5. What is it?
It's a 4-year deal. You don't know the price though.
Okay, so it's a 4-year deal. You know that Marlowe and Thornton are gone after 2 of those years. So, you know, right now it's okay, fine. They found their coach. That's great. To me, the coach really wasn't the problem. And I would imagine if you ask most people in the hockey world, I don't hear anybody saying that DeBoer is a upgrade over McClellan. I haven't even heard anybody say it's a lateral move. So you've addressed something that really didn't need to be addressed. Right now, it's up to Wilson to patch up the holes in this. And there are several, but patch up the holes in the short term, while still keeping an eye towards this full teardown after Thornton and Marlowe leave. So, like I've said, it's all shits and giggles until somebody gets hurt, and right now the fans are a little hurt. We have the coach now. Between now and July 1st, show me. Let's see what you do come July 1st.
No, totally. It's that old adage from Singletary: "Don't tell me, show me."
Oh God, no! Please
do not invoke the Singletary.
Do not invoke Mike Singletary on this show.
But here's the point, though. You want to make changes. You want to get younger. You want to get better. That's great. You can talk all you want. You can talk to our buddy Kozumor for forever and until your face turns blue. I don't know how that's possible if he's tan, but I mean, prove it.
Even
do it.
Salon
Let's go do it. You want to go win a cup? Do it. Let's go.
Just win the game.
Just win the
Just win the flipping game.
Puckers.
Whoa, what was that?
What the hell was that?
That was a fan getting all crazy in here.
Man.
It's getting all crazy up in this spot here.
But that's
to get back to the point, though, like I said, I don't see DeBoer being the guy to take us to the Stanley Cup Finals, but I think these next couple of years is more important in terms of like restocking the talent and developing the talent. But I don't think it's going to be a particularly entertaining brand of hockey. That's the downside. I think a lot of fans are going to be disappointed in what the product they're going to see on the ice for a couple of years here, while they hopefully are able to reestablish a better talent base. Because, like I said, with Thornton and Marlowe leaving, that's going to be a big hole at the top. I mean, less so with Marlowe, but Thornton, he's still producing damn near a point per game even at his age, and that's going to be a big hole left right there.
Well, and how and what a great time to start going downhill as the the team next door has just made their way to their first finals in 40 years. But you know what? That's none of my business. That's all I'm saying. None of my business. Don't care.
That pales in comparison to Doug Wilson.
Everything pales in comparison to Doug Wilson. Tell it to my fucking doggy face.
Doggy face.
Okay, so this is our 9th coach, right? You got a graphic there, pal? I saw something. He's eating. Hold on, folks. Give him a second. There you go.
This is our 8th coach in franchise history.
You are incorrect, sir. 9th.
Who's missing? Because I've seen people say both 8th and 9th, and I've been too lazy to research it personally.
Cap Raider.
Right. You are absolutely right. Actually,
Raider.
It's the 10th coach because Doug Wilson and Cap Raider were co-coaches for one game.
So take that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, like anybody gives a shit. Let's be honest, it's our eighth.
There you go. There's some Sharks trivia for you right there.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
It's our eighth coach.
I gotta fix the damn graphic. Damn it.
He's gotta fix it, but you know what? He's gonna fix that graphic. While he's fixing that graphic, I'm just gonna show you. There was at least one woman who gave DeBoer the thumbs up in New Jersey. So you got to be impressed with those. I mean, her. You have to be impressed with that. So good for her. When he's looking up, everybody else. When he's looking up, everybody else is looking down. You know what I mean?
You know what? You know what's funny is I was trying to find a mugshot of Peter DeBoer, and when you do, it's kind of interesting when you select images. There's two related searches that come up. There's Jack Capuano, the Islanders coach, and then there's Taylor Stevens, who apparently is the lovely, I'm guessing those are fake, chested lady that was behind him during the Stanley Cup Final a few years ago.
So we're just going like full morning zoo here, like, tell us your cans of the day! Ooh.
There you go. Do you have any boner stories there, buddy?
Yeah, exactly.
From down in San Diego?
Some boner stories. Yes, yeah, that goes well with my little
exactly.
Here, yes.
Exactly. See,
yes,
you know what?
Let's take it back to hockey now.
We'll
talk serious stuff. Yes.
I know. I forgot my bottom third there for a little bit. Oh man, that's so boring. In fact, though, we were running the beers. Are you rocking your AC/DC shirt again?
Nah, I have other shirts.
Oh, okay.
Led Zeppelin tonight.
Oh, Led Zeppelin. I'm rocking the Sammy's beach and rum bar, whatever the fuck it is. But it's a very nice shirt. I'm supposed to get someone was supposed to get me another one of these. I don't know whatever happened to it, but maybe I'll see it sometime in my lifetime.
You have a graphic fixed now, Eric?
Yeah, I got the graphics fixed now. Now I'm getting technical here, and she
Holy crap, that was
having this right. So he's technically the 8th coach, essentially the 10th. But there's your list: George Kingston, Kevin Constantine, Jim Wiley, Al Sims. Oh, that was a dark time.
That whole Wiley Sims era was just really dark.
Let's put it this way while I have
let's
stuff
not complain to things AOL.
Now operated by Verizon. Suck it!
Not just complain, and that's going to get struck down, so you're going to still be stuck to terrible service.
Oh, whatever. Daryl Sutter was essentially the first coach with previous NHL experience that came in '97. Finally glad that Lombardi finally figured his shit out then. Of course, he fired him, brought in Ron Wilson, Mr. Cake Bake Fever, Hanta Yo. When that fell apart, Todd McClellan, of course, pretty much was the longest tenured coach in team history, and then, of course, Peter going in. If you're wondering what Doug Wilson Cap Raider was, there was a game that the Sharks played during the year that they did not have Ron Wilson ready to go. So Doug Wilson and lead scout Cap Raider took the reins for one game. They won that game, so technically they go down as the the winningest coaches in franchise history, winning percentage-wise.
Well, you know what makes boring hockey exciting is when you win.
Yes,
I don't care if it's a bunch of 1-0 games or 2-1, 2-0 or whatever. Don't matter to me. As if they keep putting W's on the board and shutting teams out, I'm fine with whatever brand DeBoer wants to throw out there. If he wants to throw that Hitchcockian trap, that East Coast crap, whatever. Who was it? Who was the coach? We talked about this before. There was that famous game. I think it was between like Philadelphia and Tampa or whatever, where one of the teams just Huh?
They wouldn't play through the Tampa trap. Like the Philadelphia, I forget who the coach was, but yeah, I remember like the Philadelphia guy was just like sit there like juggling the puck, and eventually had to blow the whistle on it, even though there technically was no rule that said they could blow the whistle there.
Yeah.
Which but honestly, yeah, I agree. I don't care. Play the trap, whatever you have to do. Just don't screw the development of our young players. Like develop the talent. That's pretty much all. Like if we come out on the other side of this 3 years from now and fire him with better talent than we have right now, I consider it a win. Because I don't see many other ways it plays out that's good for us.
Yeah.
And teach defensive responsibility. Because we don't have a whole lot of that going on right now.
Ian on the in the chat room is saying that coach was Guy Boucher, whatever the fuck his name is.
Guy Boucher, former of Tampa Bay.
It wasn't Guy Boucher. My mother watches MXC. Or
it wasn't who was that? Who was the goaltender in that Love Guru movie or whatever?
Oh,
I never saw that.
Something Lecoq or something.
Man, I'm gonna have to look that up.
See, it seems like every time there's a goalie a hockey movie, there's always one player in it with La in their name. Whether it was Goon with La Flemme, and then Justin Timberlake as
Jacques Lecoq Grandet.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, there you go. It still doesn't beat Ben Bishop because everyone loves to beat the Bishop.
Especially when the Bishop gets yanked.
Oh, Bish, please.
You like to yank the Bishop? What?
Whoa!
Hey,
Speaking of which, it's a good segue. How about this third round here, boys? Oh, there we go.
Before we get to that, yeah. There's Jacques Lecoq Grandet, former goaltender of your Los Angeles Kings, played by Justin Timberlake. Sending sexy back where it came from, apparently. Yes, let's go on to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Epic Game 7 weekend with the Rangers and the Lightning.
And the best part about this is, as it said, we all made picks, and right now we're all still in it. That's the best part about it. We're all still in the hunt, baby. And you have to hand it to New York clawing their way back again. This is the team that will not die right now. So I'm really hoping that they pull it out against Tampa Bay. I'd love to see Boyle or Shepard get the game winner. See Lundqvist have a phenomenal. Hell, see him chase Bishop. Yank the Bishop one more time.
So on cross sports analogies, how much do the Rangers remind you of the San Francisco Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Like that they have that same they don't look pretty. They grind you constantly.
The 2012 San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, particularly those. But I mean, just in general, like the whole. They don't look like the most dominant team. They had the best pitching. They have some of the best goaltending, obviously, with the King there. But just somehow they manage. They're a cockroach. You can't kill them.
And
their last group.
Well, and their record in elimination games is ridiculous, especially at home. So I really look forward to the game, this Game 7 this weekend.
And wasn't Lundqvist like undefeated in Game 7s, or he's got like one loss? I think it's undefeated.
It's something ridiculous.
Was I the only one tremendously disappointed to realize there was no game tonight? Because I was like getting ready after work to sit down with a beer and like.
No, I
was
like, well, for me, I didn't look it up, but I was kind of dying to go. What the fuck is booked at Madison Square Garden tonight? Like, how are we not getting this game off tonight?
Well, it's the same thing for Anaheim. They have Anaheim and Chicago. It's 2 days off. I don't know why. But
what is this, the NBA?
Yeah.
Are they going to get carried off with cramps next, or what?
Now, how funny is that the NBA, because apparently they just don't know what everything is already blocked out way in advance, so they can't do any flexing or moving up of scheduling. So those poor bastards, they get an entire fucking week off. Are you serious? That between between the conference finals and the NBA starting the finals, the NHL is going to have 2 Game 7s and the start of the Stanley Cup Finals.
And don't they alternate days with it too?
Yes, they do. Yeah, that was mentioned that. Yeah, starting with the Stanley Cup Finals, it is going to be just 14 glorious days if both rounds go 7, which I don't think they will. I think right now the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, this has been awesome. 2 Game 7s. I can't remember the last time the Final Four ended up being 2 Game 7s, but honestly, I feel like the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't know. I feel like that might just go in 6.
It's the first time since 2000, and it's only happened twice before that the conference final or whatever it was, essentially the Stanley Cup semifinal, went 7 games.
See,
that both sides went 7 games.
I know neither of you guys are basketball guys, but part of the reason why basketball is going to be off for a while is because, holy shit, that were 2 craptacular matchups in basketball. Like, we have a sweep and a 5-game victory because just basketball is way too lopsided for me. That's one of the reasons why I can't get into it. Half the matchups are just complete stinkers.
Well,
a few sweeps in hockey, but like I would bet if you compare year over year, how many sweeps there are, how many 5 games there are, how many 6 and 7s. I would bet hockey's consistently more competitive if you actually did a comparison.
I would absolutely agree with that. The other thing that was the thing that I cannot watch basketball. I try on occasion. I try. I just can't pull this shit off, man. What was it last night?
Are you gonna say you find it boring again because you watch baseball, dude?
You know what? I not so much boring. I don't think boring is the word. I find basketball, at least the NBA. I tried to watch a little bit of last night's game between the Warriors and the Rockets, and if anything, I find it kind of comical yet sad. I don't know how many times you see moving screens on almost every play that don't get called. You see hand checks, reach-ins, nothing gets called. I just think it's.
What about reach-arounds, John?
That's right.
Hey, John.
But I just and not to mention the ridiculous amount of traveling that occurs, and nothing gets called. And then throw in the fact not only that there's all these rules that never seem to be enforced, especially when it's when the foul or the rule is broken by a quote unquote star player. The thing that really gets me going is the fact that some of these superstars, my free throw percentage is better than theirs, and that I think is completely unacceptable. That's just laugh out loud hysterical.
The funny thing is, I think you probably saw my Twitter rant the other night. The other night, the announcer was getting indignant about how inconsistently flagrant fouls are called. Okay, for those of you who don't watch basketball, flagrant foul, think of it like it's interjection. But they were moaning how inconsistently they're called, yada yada yada, and it's like, really, you're clearly it's a giant smirch, just huge stain on the consistency that is NBA refereeing. I mean, man, I cannot believe that they're actually inconsistent on some aspect of refereeing. Oh my God! If they actually were consistent, these same announcers would be like, they would probably. I've seen it happen where they get mad that a star isn't getting star calls. Like the whole NBA is built on inconsistency, and there's multiple tiers. The stars get the calls. Everyone else, screw you. And again, that's one more. That's a big reason. I'd be a bigger NBA fan if it was more competitive. But the reality is, the teams that win are the teams that have the superstars. If you don't have a superstar, you have no shot.
Well, I agree with that. And the other thing that drives me nuts about the NBA. I remember watching a particular game where it was for, I think, 5 or 6 consecutive plays. I was watching one-on-one with 8 spectators on the floor. Guy gets the inbound, runs up, doesn't look for a play, doesn't look to try to find somebody that has an open shot, just tries to barrel through 3 people in the paint, goes up, banks off the board, somebody grabs the board, takes it the other way. He doesn't look for a play. He doesn't look for anybody with an open shot. He tries to barrel through. This happened 5 consecutive times. And it's like, if I wanted to watch fucking one-on-one, I can go down to the local, park and see that. Who gives a shit? So, yeah, it's just another, it's reason 277 of why I just can't get into, can't get into the NBA, bro. Just cannot do it. But anyway, let's get back to hockey.
To make a quick point before
One final thought.
Back on. To me, it's just like, oh my God, it's like, baseball is like the slow-moving game, okay, and then basketball's like chugga 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 chugga, and then 2 minutes ago we need to call all 10 of our timeouts now.
Totally agree.
Down by 11 points. I mean. And thank you to, I think it was Chester Chivo, who helped me through some of the terminology, because I get most of the part of basketball, but I just don't understand the bonuses, or all the mumbo-jumbo stuff. Nonetheless, go Warriors, bring another title to the Bay Area, and make me feel sick that I see more Sharks fans just dissipating and dropping their teal and black to wear blue and gold.
I do have to mention one thing, though. Watching a little bit of last night's game, I think it was Mark Jackson, the former coach of the Warriors, who I guess is now
Coach
doing
Caterpillar.
It's him, and what is it? It's like the former coach of the Knicks or something.
I call him Coach Caterpillar because y'all heard the whole thing he was saying like months ago, right?
No.
When he had to call this. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Mark Jackson was the coach of the Warriors the last 2 years, but playoff both years and got fired anyways. Long story. But he was on the team calling a Warriors game a few months ago, and the Warriors just killed the other team. I forget who it was. And towards the end, he was like, you can love the butterfly without disrespecting the caterpillar. Like, he said that on air. He said on air. And
if there was never something that could trump a Maddenism, that was it.
Dear God.
I know.
You can't mess with the butterfly but you gotta love the caterpillar.
No, that's actually the thing that was driving me nuts when I did watch a little bit of the game last night. That was one of the things that was driving me absolutely apeshit, was every time they'd go to commercial, Mark Jackson had to, I don't know, like break out his like inner Charles Barkley or some shit, or Dennis Rodman, whatever, and say something like really stupid as they were going to break. It's like somebody made a play, and as they're showing that play in slow motion, he would say something so cliche, so trite, and to do it in that stupid kind of Ebonic inflected, fucking South Central. I'm from Compton.
Easy.
No, but he was just like, spring blast at your ass, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You were like speaking English 5 seconds ago. All of a sudden, you like went like way off the deep end, and it was almost every time they went to a commercial. I mean, go back and look. I hope to fucking God. Mark Jackson is doing the finals. I might watch a couple games now just to hear him. It would almost be worth it to record every time they go to commercial. Just to record every single one of his stupid fucking inflections. He makes Doc Emmerich look like a fucking Rhodes Scholar with that shit.
My goodness!
To contextualize there, though, that is kind of his thing, though. If you've watched, like, say, I've watched basketball going back to the Jordan era. I hate to admit it.
I'm
probably the biggest basketball fan. I've watched it since the Jordan era too. But I'm probably the biggest basketball fan on here, and I'm not even that big of a basketball fan. Just because of too much bullshit. But that has always been Mark Jackson's thing, is dumb catchphrases. Mama, there goes that man. And
So
man down. But that's always been Mark Jackson's thing.
He fucking did a couple of those last night, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking idiot.
That's his stick.
It was reminding me of, oh, okay, that's stupid. It was like the Mike Singletary of fucking basketball. All right, anyway, I digress. Let's get back to fucking hockey. Let's talk about Anaheim, Chicago.
What?
Real quick finishing thought there, though. If you look at my timeline on Twitter, you'll notice I've called basketball Singletary going back like 3 years. So there you go. That was his whole shtick, was just dumb catchphrases, and the Warriors hired him with no previous coaching experience. So yes, let's get back to hockey and enough basketball for the night.
Thank you. Ducks, Hawks. Will it be the Hawks making their third trip to the Cup Final in 5 years, or will the Anaheim Ducks force me to go get a collectible puck the third out of 4 times that me and my girlfriend have gone to Disneyland when the Stanley Cup Final has been played?
I'm so
Chris,
fucking.
let's start with you.
I'm so fucking torn right now. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm sticking with my pick. I believe I said either Hawks in 6 or Hawks in 7, and I'll stick with that. I mean, I've almost regretted that a few times because. What's so funny, AJ?
No, I swear to God.
Say that to my dog eats, okay?
No, when you started saying what you were going to say, I swear to God, I thought you were going to say. I can't remember what I said, but I'm going to stay with my pick. I'm either going with Hawks or Ducks to win.
Yeah, exactly. Like, somebody's going to win this series. I think it'll probably be okay. I'm going on a limb here. I'm going to be like David Bruce. I'm going to be like David Bruce and make some bold predictions here. I'm going to go limb and say the team that has the most Game 7 will likely win the game.
I'm going to go with the team whose mascot has feathers will win this game.
Oh. The team that knocked out the Sharks in 2009 or 2010 might win this game.
I'm trying to do my best to make sure like that dog that has that look, you know. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't do any more dog memes. I do enough of that. But yeah, I am sticking with the Hawks. Part of me has some second thoughts. I mean, I think honestly it's close to a toss-up because like if you know, I've watched almost every game in the series and. The Hawks, at times, they've really ceded to the Ducks and let them just beat them up at some points. Like, and I'm not talking physically. Like, they've actually let them like shoot like 15 times to 1 or 2 shots, which is very un-Hawks-like. But I'm gonna say they come out for Game 7. They come out big, and they win it, and it'll be a Hawks beat Tampa Bay final.
Wait, that's for Monday for making your cup predictions. We have a big shindig on Monday.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you
know. Fucking tool. What a tool.
AJ, are you going with the Hawks, I assume?
Well, I believe that is who I took at the beginning of this, and I gotta tell you, after watching Game 1, I was immediately unfucked. I'm so screwed. I picked the wrong fucking team because Anaheim came out and just steamrolled Chicago in Game 1. I mean, it wasn't even fucking close. But the way Chicago has been able to counter and come back has been really impressive. It's been a shitload of fun to watch. These overtime games especially. You know, and at this point, honestly, I feel pretty confident in picking New York to win Game 7. For the Anaheim-Chicago series, I don't have a fucking clue. I am so torn right now. I'm staying with my pick, Chicago. I still think that they have a little bit more experience top to bottom, but like I said before, man, it's hard to doubt an Anaheim Duck team that is, bringing the knuckles and is going to be playing in their own barn. Not that, the fucking duck pond is, any huge, scary place to play, but...
Oh, they get rowdy down there in Anaheim.
Oh, do they get feathers ruffled?
Trash can.
Yes,
get their feathers ruffled. They toss the trash cans over into the streets.
Do they? I heard the last time that they won a Stanley Cup, I think they had to arrest 4 people for littering. It gets out of hand in Anaheim. It really does.
Well, let's be real here. It's better for the only have 4 people arrested after your team wins it all
than half of Vancouver when they lose it.
I was gonna say Anaheim strikes me as the kind of town that whoever loses to them probably riots more than their own fans do.
See, now here's where I'm torn. Here's where I'm torn. I pick Chicago, and let's be honest, how badly would the offices in Toronto and NHL love a New York-Chicago matchup? Number 1 media market versus number 3 media market? Oh, yeah, they are just like, oh, please make that happen. Now, Tampa Bay versus Anaheim, they're like, oh, my fucking God, that's going to suck. So... I'm still going. Hold on, I'm not fucking done yet. So anyway, I picked Chicago. I'm still sticking with Chicago because that's what I picked from the beginning. But there's a little tiny part of me that is kind of rooting that if Anaheim does win Game 7, I'm almost rooting for them to win the whole fucking thing just to put more pressure on the Sharks to get it done.
But see, here's the problem. That should have happened when Anaheim first won the Cup, or when LA won their first Cup, or even better, when the Sharks blew a 3-0 lead, created this reverse sweep curse that we're currently in right now because it's going so swell, and LA wins the second Cup because of them, because they couldn't win one fucking game. One fucking game. Let's think about this before I make my picks. Would McClellan still be here if we had won one fucking game?
Yes.
Would Joe Thornton still be the captain if we had won one more fucking game?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I think I felt somebody's finger spit on my face from that. Thank you.
Would we be playing for the Western Conference title if we won one fucking game?
Daffy suffering suckash, but yes.
Oh my God!
Let's really think about this here. Could they have taken down the Jets? Yeah, they probably could. Could they have taken down Calgary? Probably would have taken 7 games, but yeah.
Well, what did they have to do?
Hold
on, but they had to win what?
One fucking game.
Ha ha! You missed me, bitch.
Suffering succotash.
You know what though? Ian's pointing out.
You gotta win against those little birds.
Ian is pointing out something really good on the Google chat. Is the Ducks for Game 7, and of course New York will do it as well, but. You have to give a little bit to the Ducks in that they control final, the last change.
Right.
So they're going to get the matchups that they want. And the way this series has gone back and forth between Anaheim and Chicago has been pretty fucking interesting. So, hey, dude, can you ask for anything more in the fucking conference finals on both sides to get Game 7s? Are you fucking kidding me?
Just think if both of them go into overtime, and if that overtime. I mean... It's a hockey dream.
Oh man, that would be so great.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they move Anaheim to Chicago onto NBC?
I don't know. I haven't seen I'm just like, well, hey, you know what?
So?
Because it's Friday and Saturday, right? So why not?
Right, and they've usually been putting the Saturday night game at 5 on. Yeah, they did move it. So Chicago Anaheim will be on NBC. I don't know if you guys noticed on my Twitter, I retweeted a boatload of people that were bitching so hard that
about Doc Emmerich?
But they couldn't because it went to 3 overtimes last time it was on NBC.
Yeah.
And everybody was bitching about, oh my god, I want to watch Saturday Night Live. I can't stand this hockey crap. Or worse is when all the NBC affiliate anchors were saying, stay with us, we'll be on after hockey because you're watching hockey. It's like, I don't know, NBC. Maybe you should write a little notes to your affiliates, general managers, and anchors to say, calm down the hockey hate. Just a little bit, especially those in the LA and Chicago markets where they're really going at it. Just saying.
Well, this is where I just don't care. Like, honestly, I know that hockey's not as popular as sports, and I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And
you know what? You can hate it all you like. There's plenty of people who love shitty beer, and I like good beer, so fuck you all. You're dumb.
It's not like NBC has anything worthwhile to put in that time slot anyway. It's no biggie.
Well, all the shows are done unless you're getting ready for America's Got Talent.
Yeah, but but the thing is though, I've seen the lineup for NBC this upcoming season. Believe me, you're better off watching hockey.
Hey, I can't wait for Wipeout though. But before Wipeout begins...
Oh, that's an ABC show, right?
Yes, but really quickly, essentially we're staying with our picks as it is. AJ's going Rangers Blackhawks, which is what NBC and
God, yes,
are hoping for. I'm going Rangers Ducks, which would be the top two markets in the team. And Chris is going for Lightning Blackhawks, which would be interesting. While we say Anaheim Tampa would be boring, it'd probably be the most intense series because both teams are going back and forth. They play a speed game. They play an offensive game. Who knows on that?
And how much will we hear if it's Tampa Bay and Anaheim? How much? I guarantee you every single fucking game they're going to bring up the flights going to and coming back between Anaheim and Tampa that they got to go all the way across country. Whereas Chicago, New York, it's like bing, bing, hour and a half each way.
Well, but here's the thing. It would be all the way from Anaheim to New York.
Yeah. And they would bring it up then, too.
One second. Speaking as the frequent flyer of this group, since I do it for a living, it's actually not that bad to fly to Florida for some reason because of jet streams and shit. You can fly there in 4 hours. If you want to fly from San Francisco to New York, that's like roughly 6 hours. If you want to fly down to Florida or Atlanta, it's somehow 4.5 hours. Don't ask me why, but it is. So it's actually not that bad. Just pointing that out.
That was great knowledge. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
So, if you're planning your Stanley Cup final parties, here's how it's going to work. This is the schedule because they kind of had to coincide with the NBA on how they're going to do the Cup final. Game 1 will be Wednesday, June 3rd. That'll be at 5 p.m. On Saturday, it's a 4 p.m. start. I'm thinking it's going right after the potential Triple Crown race. Belmont Stakes, is it?
Yep.
So they're going to probably run right into the Stanley Cup final for that game. Game 3 will be Monday at 5, June 8th. Wednesday it'll be June 10th at 5 p.m. And if necessary, it's Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Essentially, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Mondays are the NHL's games, or the nights that they'll play on there.
Eric, I am disappointed in you. You did not, before Game 1, you should have included the Pucknology special, because everyone should have that marked on their calendars. Well, care to plug that? Because that should have been on the schedule. I'm just saying,
you know what?
That's important. More important than any of those games.
The thing that I loved better was when he brought up Belmont Stakes, trying to complete the triple after the Preakness and the Kentucky Derby. But bringing up Belmont, all of a sudden, what popped in my head is that now that Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, Belmont Stakes, that is the event Doc Emmerich should be covering. He'd scream his ass off for 90 seconds, boom, it's over. That's it.
2 3/4 miles to go. Here comes American Pharaoh.
Oh my God, he's on the outside. He waffle boarded by it. Here comes Waffle Board, sidling up against number 2. That's right, that horse is Knifer.
See, the one thing I get from you constantly complaining about Doc Emmerich is you guys don't know what a goddamn mute button is. Like, I'm just saying.
You know what?
I'm just
I would
saying,
love
I've seen so many local radio broadcasts to national games and I've watched them. It's not hard.
No.
Put
no,
the radio broadcast over there, there you go.
If it's Anaheim and Tampa, forget it. No effing way. Anaheim has a boring play-by-play guy, and their
post game is fun. Their post game is fun.
And their color analyst is the former Sharks beat writer from the Contra Costa Times. And he sounds like he's got a little bit of a lisp going on there. Then over in Tampa, while you shut up, AJ. And meanwhile, over in Tampa, while you have Phil Esposito as your color analyst, you have frickin' Dave Mishkin. And just look up Dave Mishkin on YouTube, and you'll understand why I can't stand him.
No, I'm good. But thanks for the invite.
You're welcome.
You could always just fill us in and save us the trouble.
Well, I can. Let me pull it up here while you two talk. Go ahead.
You know, I do have to mention one thing that I'm really disappointed in. We've been doing this now for an hour. Not one fucking tweet from Generation X. Bro, what's up, man? What's up?
Bro.
Where's the fucking love? Come on, man. We got Crispy Churro with the zeros in the house. What the fuck are you? I mean, Ian's in here giving us, some good information when we can't remember what the fuck we're talking about. And Gen X, nowhere to be found, bro. I know you ain't watching hockey or basketball right now, motherfucker. What's going on?
This is probably the night he's actually working late at Microsoft. But yeah, actually, we should have shouted out like Crispy Churro with a zero. Yes, one of our earliest watchers, and I love you, baby.
And while I give some shout-outs to Jonathan Wald and Andy Dickerson at another podcast that I just can't think of their name right now. They gave us a shout-out on their podcast, and once I find the name of the podcast, I'll give it to you. But definitely a lot of love with the Sharks podcast. Meanwhile, here is
a cat.
Here is.
Meanwhile, AJ has a cat. First, we'll get to you, Eric.
Oh,
AJ has a indifferent cat here.
He's trying to cross my path. They said, "Knock it off, dude. Piss off."
That look on the cat's face is just like, "Screw you. I hate you. Die in a fire."
That's right.
Okay, Eric. Okay, you can go now. Did you figure out the name of that podcast? We probably should shut them down.
Here is Dave Mishkin calling a Dan Boyle hat trick.
Hat trick! Dan Boyle! Flyers in they rebound.
I would kill myself.
Okay. Again, this is why I would prefer Doc Emmerich over Dave Mishkin. However,
wait. How many testicles does he have left?
I don't think he has.
I'm guessing 0.
No. Here's the reason. I would take Michigan over Emmerich for one simple reason. If only one goal is scored, you only have to hear that once throughout the entire game, whereas Emmerich sits there for 60 full minutes talking about how a puck is knifed and waffle boarded and swashbuckled. And I mean, get the fuck out of here! Just say he passed it.
The blocker looks like
pancake slid.
Yeah, it's pancaked over to this way and swashbuckled that way, and
sausage over there.
Oh my God! It's serviced that way and blown that way. Oh, get the fuck out of here with this. He passed the fucking puck.
Okay. I'm still looking for it. Jonathan Wald, if you are on, please tell me, and if you're watching, please tell me what the name of your podcast, because I can't think of with you and Andy Dickerson. But why don't we mention our big preview on Monday at 7 p.m.
I do have a couple shout-outs. Big shout-out to obviously to CSN for covering the presser today to introduce Pete DeBoer as the new coach. Massive props to Ted Ramey to being like the first local guy to have him on the radio, be able to have the one-on-one going. And then KMBR was awesome enough to have him on again with Tolbert at 4 o'clock today. So, like, huge shout-outs to them. And you know what? I think the only way to put it, I guess, is a huge fuck you to 95.7 The Game for continuing to ignore our hockey team. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Really appreciate the lack of coverage, you fucking assholes. But you know what the best part is? Is that 95.7 The Game, from what I'm hearing, is getting a new fucking program director who is coming from 590 The Fan, Sportsnet, Toronto. That's right. The station that had the biggest hockey-hating douchebag on the planet is being replaced with a fucking Canuck, eh? How ironic and perfect is that? That should be fucking great, eh? I can't wait to see it. If we see some fucking talk about the Sharks in the month of October, like when the season actually starts, instead of usually when they don't start talking about them until after the Super Bowl's over, holy crap. So, props to KMBR, props to CSN. A big fuck you to 95.7 if you didn't hear it earlier. I don't know how anybody can stand to listen to that fucking tripe. So, thank you. Hi, Shannon.
To add to that real quick, I agree with most everything AJ just said.
Especially the fucking.
I don't even listen to 97 anymore because when I do I usually regret it. But
no, I don't listen to it. I'm saying I heard it on KMBR with Pete DeBoer. I didn't see jack shit from 95.7. Whereas the Sharks and Lady Stanley was tweeting out all the places where people were showing up today to talk about it. Not one. I heard Kevin Kurz on 2 different Canadian stations today to talk about it. Not one fucking person on the local 95.7. So once again,
yes.
Love you guys.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we get it.
I agree in principle, but one thing real quick. There have been talk occasionally. I've been asked about our quote unquote competition, like when it comes to Sharks podcast. But there's been a few popping up lately. Our stance is we love everyone else because honestly, so little Sharks coverage. We're a huge fan of like the Gackle Report and all these other podcasts because honestly, I work 8 to 10 hours a day minimum, and I have to listen to something while I work. And I don't have enough Sharks content to fill my day. So,
absolutely. Hey, Gackle Report, the Teal Tinted podcast.
Yeah, the one I was talking about with Andy Dickerson and Jonathan Walda is Bay Area Hockey Talk. It's also a show and a podcast that they do. Andy runs Black Dog Enterprises, who basically does all the video for the tournaments at Sharks Ice and as well as for San Jose State Hockey. They're great guys, so props to them all.
Dudes on hockey?
Let's be honest here. If we're not going to get love from the local radio station, however, I've already put in a word to the new program director at 95.7 to have more help. I say the better. Andy and John and Michael Steninger as well that does Bay Area Hockey Talk along with Ian. I know he has his podcast as well. More power to you guys. It's going to be something else next season for coverage of the Sharks and Barracuda. That being said, make sure you first off also subscribe to us. Give us some love. We will get on iTunes very shortly soon as well.
Wait, what?
On Monday, we are going to have a big Cup Final preview show. It'll be the 3 of us along with Shalana Goldman. Maybe one more guest. And wait, I need a drum roll.
Dude, where the fuck have you been on this?
Whoop. There we go. And NHL Ties will join us on After Dark on Monday night. That's right. Whether or not he or she will unveil themselves remains to be seen, but NHL Ties will join us tonight.
And I can guarantee you that is going to be the one show that Brody Brazil watches. Brody Brazil is very serious.
Wait.
Phillips is very serious about his tie game.
And let's be honest here. I believe the A's have the day off. So Brody, I sent you a DM earlier. Come on the show.
Okay, and real quick, because can't leave, like I said, we love everyone. How could we forget Bay Area Hockey Talk? Well, yeah, no, let's say Bay Area Hockey Talk. Ian is in the chat right now, and he's been following tonight's show. Definitely have to make sure we give him a shout out as well. But yeah, like I said, we love all these other people covering the Sharks because big media does not do it. The more, the better. Like there is plenty of room for everyone.
Absolutely, cannot support that enough.
Absolutely. Guys, I'll leave you with final thoughts. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think our niche is that we do it off the cuff, live, and right after the game. That's our only niche. But that can easily be explained if you watch because we don't do a whole lot of research. We're kind of the okay, that's true. I am the Matt Steinmetz of Hockey Talk. I do zero preparation. I just fucking fly by the seat of my pants and just hope to get through it. So final comments. Until Monday, you know what? Cannot fucking wait for tomorrow and Saturday night. 24 hours from now, 48 hours from now, Game 7s, bitch. That's all that matters. Go New York. Like I said, I picked Chicago, so I'm rooting for Chicago. But you know what? If it puts more pressure on the Sharks, then go ahead and go Anaheim. That's it. I'll see you on Monday, man, for the spectacular. I hope both you motherfuckers are wearing ties that day. Your tie game better be strong if we have NHL ties coming on. You better be dressed to the nines, motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying. None of this beach bar and rum bullshit.
Chris, your final thoughts?
I will definitely have a tie on that show for sure. If NHL ties can be there judging, I will definitely be around, and I will be dressed with the nines. My only other thought, I'm excited about 2 Game 7s. Like I said, I was really disappointed that neither of them were tonight. Like I was like, oh, cool, Game 7 night. I look on, thinking like, oh no, oh well. But I get to hang out here with you guys, so that's cool. In the coming weeks, we are doing some internal testing here at Pucknology After Dark. We're going to be changing a little bit of our technical format, I hope, to where, among other things, we might be able to take calls. So, fingers crossed for that. Hopefully, all that goes well, and maybe some of our show, our show starting next season, we can actually do post-game calls, which would be pretty cool. So, I'm excited about that. I hope everyone else is. And yeah, that's my final thought for the night.
Definitely. We have plenty of things planned in the works, plenty of things we hope we can do. One of which, since After Dark has gone so well this past year, I think when me and Gentry go down for games, whether it's Sharks or Barracuda, we will do a pregame through Periscope. So something we might look forward to. But guys, I threw this on. I was just curious. Doesn't this jersey look good with this special patch on it? I mean, I would just think it'd be great one day if all of us were doing that. Just say.
Okay. We're all getting together for like the inaugural game for the Barracuda, right? We're all going to get together for that.
I would think so. We might have our first CUDA tweet up. But definitely.
And you know what? We will refer to that as the coup de grace.
Oh, boy.
Womp, womp.
I'm just letting you know right now. That will be when this is Pucknology After Dark. When we begin doing our Barracuda post-game stuff, that will be known as the coup de grace. Trademark pending, bitches. Trademark pending, bitches.
Boy.
Yeah, if we want to do that often, we probably need to expand our crew a bit here because I don't think we could all do like 6 nights a week.
Tiny bit. Tiny bit.
Yeah, well, and there's so many people that care about the Barracuda right now.
Hey, you never know. They're
More than one Sabercats fans.
But hey, look at it this way. If the Warriors can have their minor league team in Santa Cruz, the Sharks can have their minor league team in the Bay Area too, I would think, right? So,
I
with
didn't
that,
even know there was
let's
minor
wrap
league
this up.
basketball. Go ahead.
With that, let's wrap it up before we get into another basketball wrap. Of course, go Warriors! We'll be on Monday. We'll even do a prediction for that one. Warriors. But with that, for AJ Strong, for Chris JWS, for Gentry Alexander, who's somewhere probably asleep right now, I am Eric Hura, PuckGuy14 on Twitter. We will see you Monday, 7 p.m. for our big shindig for the Cup Final preview. Until then, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it real fresh.
Subscribe below. Have a good night. Peace out, everyone.